What's up, everybody? This is Coach Rick. Good afternoon. I'm coming to you from an undisclosed location right now. I'm usually always behind the camera, but now finally I'm in front. So this segment is called The Training Room. You know, you can find us at Nuts and Bolts Sports. We're on YouTube and Twitter. You can follow the hashtag at #TeamNBS. My background, I'm a sports performance coach, and for over 15 years, and currently the strength coach at Canarsie High School. To my immediate right is my man, Coach G, Coach Gerald Huggins. He is the defensive line coach for Canarsie High School and also the founder of BCA, Building Conscious Athletes. So the whole point of this platform is, for years, I've always watched how sports performance coaches and positional coaches are always in the background. It's like we're always a support system to the main stars, which is like the head coaches and the athletes. And, you know, I always want to tell our stories because we're part of this whole ecosystem at the same time, you know? So it's just like special teams. We're 1/3 of the entire unit, and you don't know how important we are until you don't have us perform at a high level. We want to make this fun, informative, relaxed, and give the perspective of coaches from our point of view, from positionals to performance. So, Coach G, what's up, bro?
One more time.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you?
I'm good. So, we met last year during the summer. Was it May or June?
It was around August.
Okay.
Yeah, around August when I first came to Canarsie.
Okay.
Because I was at Eagle Academy for a little bit.
All right. Well, we just gave it up. Yeah, we're Canarsie coaches. All right. So, so the location is no longer undisclosed. All right. So, all right. So yeah. So when we met, it was just a natural. Like, you came on board on the field. You know, it's funny. Every time I meet someone new, I always try to remember the moment when it happened. It was just a natural, like, hey, this is Coach G, started kicking it from there.
Yeah.
So talk to me about yourself a little bit.
Well, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Went to school at LIU first. I don't really tell a lot of people that, but I went to LIU Post before it became, I think it's long, I think they changed the name now. So I was at LIU Post for a semester. Then I ended up transferring to Virginia Union University and played football there for about 3 or 4 years. And then I started coaching. After coaching, I went straight into media, as we've spoken about numerous of times. I worked at ESPN for a year.
Right.
So I went to ESPN for about a good year up in Connecticut, Bristol.
Remember I saw, like, I visited once.
Yeah.
I think that was it, because once I found that out, and I told you that I was helping a friend, she was filming a segment, and Siobhan DeLise, if you ever see this, you know, shout out, all right? So she was doing a project, and she brought us on to Connecticut for, you know, similar, for like a sports point of view for what the project she was doing.
Right.
But she also had one connect at ESPN, and she's like, Rick, you know, I don't know if we could probably get in. And I was like, nah, like, we gotta get in.
Yeah.
And so she made a call. That call led to another call, and then we got in. And I'm like, wow. I didn't see that coming at all.
Right.
I still have pictures of the badge to this day. I think it was in 2014, and I'm on the set of SportsCenter, Baseball Tonight, and just really seeing the campus and everything about it. And it just blew me away to know that this is our whole lives. And that's the mothership, right? It's ESPN.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's very rare that people get access like that from the outside coming in.
Right.
So we got a full tour of everything, you know? Yeah. So when I found out that you know, had connections there too, I was like, yo, this is, like, you can't write this script, you know what I'm saying? Man. You can't really write this.
I mean, listen, even prior to that, I worked with used to be Redskins, now they're the Commanders.
Right.
I used to work with them on their game day staff team. I had a little podcast going. I worked in the athletic department at Virginia Union after I finished playing ball while I was coaching. And then after that, I went back to grad school. Okay. In 2017, I ended up going to Clark Atlanta University, get my Master's of Arts in African American Studies. And thank you, appreciate that. And then I became an educator. Right. And, you know, then after that, I found my purpose, and I realized my purpose is to work with kids.
Right.
And I was pretty much done with football. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was focusing more on MMA. I was talking about trying to go pro with MMA. But I eventually just said, that's not what I want to do long term.
Right,
and then I came to terms with, all right, I'm gonna get back into coaching. So I started with Eagle Academy. That didn't really work out as planned. And then Coach Nooks hit me up, and he was like, hey, come on to Canarsie. I was like, all right, sure. So I came in, and here we are.
Here we are, right. And, my story, I met DeVal and Brian Ellis in 2010, and those are the two founders of Prototype. And then I had no idea I was walking into like this football royalty in Brooklyn, because I'm the outsider. I never played organized sports at all. And then when I realized like this wasn't just a collection of coaches, this was fam. Like these guys go way back, right? So shout out to always, and forever that Prototype way, that Prototype movement. And now you fast forward to where we're at Canarsie, and Coach Brian Ellis is the head coach, and now we've all reconstituted here. And so from my point of view, because we have these conversations all the time, so the whole point, to not get off topic, it's like the training room is basically giving the perspective of training, sports, fitness, et cetera, from two sides, the sports performance fitness side to the player and positional side, because we see these coaches and analysts talk all the time on TV, right?
They do.
And the one thing that always jumps out at me, which I always take major offense to, is when they refer to our athletes as freaks of nature. And I always peel back to like, nah, like if you're a freak of nature, you'd be an anomaly. Like you'd be able to breathe on the water, have wings on your back. These are just gifted athletes. And on top of that, have an amazing work ethic and a drive that quite honestly you just don't have. And to me, it's lazy because like, and again, it's not a shout to anybody, it's just, we've all done it. So when I realized I was doing it myself, I said, no, like you're not giving credit to the athletes that you never get to see. And even the athletes that at times want to tap out and not want to do this anymore, and then still find something in them to kind of like, nah, like this is still the path that I want to go to. So I always push back against that. And so for me now, it's like, you know what? Strength coaches, we accept the life. We're like concierge. We're the get back coaches in football. We help out in between, but we don't do positional. So our job, like we're the mechanics. We make sure the athletes are, bigger, stronger, faster. And for me, it's agile, hostile, mobile, being a tactical thinker. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's for me, I want our voices to be heard more in this conversation when it comes to just casual sports, training, et cetera. Like we want our part, we want to play our part now. You know what I'm saying? So like conversation we just had the other day about like, you said your father had an opinion about the 40, right?
Yeah.
Right. Talk your talk now.
Yeah, my dad, I mean, he just, me and him were just talking, and he was just like, he doesn't really, he's not really big on speed training, because he's listen, some people were just born slow. It's just really not, you're not going to make a 5 flat into a 4-3. It's just not going to happen. So, but he's an old school guy. He played for Morgan State back in the 70s. He's like one of the greatest linebackers ever played at that school. And we know the Willie Lanier was the top guy. And, after you talk about Willie Lanier, you talk about my dad. So he's, he was a 4'6" guy. He's about 6'2", about 220 linebackers.
So I see where the
you know what I'm saying? For that time, he was he was a small linebacker. But now you see linebackers now, a bunch of them are 6'1", 6'2", about 225, 230. So at that time, they wanted these big 6'4", almost 250-pound thumpers, and he was more like a quick twitch kind of Patrick Willis kind of guy, kind of speedy guy.
Niner fan, by the way. Which I need to know. Right.
I know. I had to throw that in there just for you. So he just said like speed training to him just didn't really make sense, because it's like some guys just born like Tyreek Hill. He's just born fast.
He's fast, right?
He could use someone like you that that could teach him to work on his form.
And see now, on the flip side of it, with the industry within the last 15 years that has this over obsession, in my opinion, about speed development, right? So I learned this at a lecture, and I always get credit's due. Dr. Lance Walker, who was Michael Johnson's performance, he's his right-hand man, right? He did a lecture at the NSCA conference, I believe, about 4 years ago in 2017 to 2018. So I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach and personal trainer with the NSCA. So when he started talking about speed development, that was the lecture that everybody rushed to in that ballroom. And it's packed. It's like maybe like almost 200, 300 people in that place, right? All the different practitioners all over the country. You name the school. And I'm just sitting there, Coach Rick from Brooklyn, and just soaking it up. And when he gave his lecture, and made a comment about the one thing that really resonated, because if you want to look it up, you can look it up for yourself. I don't ever want to speak for someone else, but the one thing that resonated to this day, he said, speed is innate. You can't take credit for someone's natural gift of what they have. Your job is to enhance it, be its caretaker, give it discipline and guidance, right? And especially when it came to youth, he's like, an athlete, pre-pubescent, like, before puberty or as they get older, they will get 1 to 3% faster per year, despite what you do with them. And that was the key word, despite, meaning all these coaches that have been training these kids for years in methodologies that really are suited for grown adults. That's too much for a child.
Right.
The kid's just naturally fast. They're gonna get faster despite what you do. Meaning if you know exactly what to do or not, they're gonna get better anyway. And that for me was like, that's when it really was like, wow.
Right.
But it's the truth. It's like, if someone's a gifted pianist, prodigy, right?
Yeah.
Painter.
Yeah.
That's the skill that they have.
Right.
No one taught them to do it.
Right.
So you can't take credit for it. You just enhance it and guide it as they get along. So same thing with speed development. Just let them be. And then by the time physically they can mature, mentally more importantly, to take the information to apply as far as speed development, then now you can fine tune the Ferrari to go from 4.4 to 4.3-ish. In reality, in football is not a linear sport. Like track is a linear sport.
Right.
So you see it all the time. They love that measurement where athletes hit the edge on a kick return and they get upfield and then they clock out about 20, 21, 22 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a natural straight line.
Correct.
So how many times are you going to be running from point A to point B? You know what I'm saying? So
You're not,
right?
And definitely in D-line,
Right.
like I said, I tell my guys, with your 40, yes, 40 is important, but your 10-yard split
It's
is what
the
they,
10, right?
that's what
It's
they
the
care
10.
about. That's your
Right.
get off.
Exactly.
They want to see explosion.
Right.
So when that 10-yard split is clearly exploding, and the broad jump, like teams like to see vertical, broad jump, and the 10-yard split for the defensive line because they want to see how your hips and how fluid your hips are and how explosive your hips are.
Right.
So, but I get it. End of the day, that's never changing. People love the 40-yard dash.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. But it's like what I took from that event, as far as myself doing pro days and being around combines, is that the time is the ultimate. Like that's the end result of it. The force production and the power you put into the ground, that's the separator. So the outcome is the time. But the reason why it's important is because I'm putting so much force in the ground. For every action is an equal opposite reaction. It's propelling me forward. So when I keep, so it's the power that gets the speed and what separates you. So now when you have an athlete that runs a 4.445, yeah, they can figure out angles as far as how to contain someone who's faster. But when you get in a straight race and when the receiver stems a DB and you start to separate now, there's the power, the stride length, stride frequency, max velocity, but it's the force they're putting down on that ground to get them from point A to point B and cover more distance to get away from you. Right. So it's fight and flight. Not to plug my own company, but
might as well.
Team fight and flight.
There we go.
Yeah, right. So now, outside of science stuff, because this is supposed to be fun, and I'm so mad my Niners lost, right?
I know.
Because and I love when we mess with the kids and talk about football a lot because they really they just know football in the now, not the stuff in the past. It's like, especially from the D-line point of view. And I said, I look at that game, I said, the reason why we got compromised in a way, our pass rush was consistent, but we didn't move him enough. We didn't move Stafford enough away off his spot.
Correct.
And pressure him consistently to make up for the fact that, our secondary has been compromised the whole year. Everybody knew it.
Yeah.
But when you move the quarterback off his spot consistently and put the pause on all the time, that throws off the timing, and that shows how dominant your defensive line is, but it makes an average secondary look way better than it really is all the time, right?
For sure.
So I'm 100% biased. The Rams won the game. They didn't beat us.
Isn't that the same thing?
I mean, it's like they won the game. What I mean that they didn't beat us.
Y'all beat yourselves.
No. We did, but they didn't impose their will on us to win that game. The outcome played out in their favor.
Right.
But I wasn't like Aaron Donald was locked up. That whole D line was locked up.
But you know the thing is,
majority of that game.
everybody in the world knew Aaron Donald was going to do something on that last drive, and Jimmy G was going to find a way to mess it up. Everybody knew.
No, I know.
But I understand.
Even I know.
Oh, okay, cool.
No. Trust me, I know.
Aaron Donald was too quiet.
Right, he was too quiet.
He was getting close.
Yeah, he was getting close. And the thing is because of the score and the situation of the game now, we got compromised. So now we got behind the score, right?
Oh, and then that means that
So
means
then now,
Donald, nigga, the
exactly,
TR.
now Jimmy G's now forced to do stuff that he know he can't do.
Exactly.
Because when we had the lead, if we'd have kept scoring, that would have been clipped. That'd have been done. That'd have been done. Besides Jaquaski, love you to death. I mean, look.
It wasn't meant to be.
It really wasn't.
It's okay. It's Jimmy G. What do you expect?
Yo, come on, easy.
He's what? He throws the ball up a lot.
I mean, he does. He did. I mean,
We call those ducks in football.
No, I mean, I defer to y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Quack.
Word.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm a Panthers fan, so
I know
I don't have much room.
nah,
We were good.
bro. When y'all came up, y'all
We used to battle y'all all the time.
used to y'all came up and beat the brakes off us from the jump.
We won a game 9-6 against you, I think, back in
it's like, yo, I've never seen a
2013,
team,
14.
expansion team out of the blue, and then this is toward the Niners' end of the run, but we're still in the mix.
Yeah. We
And
beat,
I'm like,
we beat y'all and the Cowboys a
I'm
lot.
fully aware, but we did get y'all back though.
Y'all did.
When
Y'all
Cam-
did.
when Cam
Yeah,
was
2013,
his-
when Kaepernick,
when Cap had
yeah,
to
that
do
was
his-
real.
yeah.
'Cause we beat y'all early in the year
Yeah,
that
you
year.
did.
Real close game, but that's the kind of football I like.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? And clearly you understand why I love that some more, because Panthers always had a really good D-line.
All the time.
You know, they had a really, I think
I
Eric,
remember Chris Jenkins. Who else they had? Like,
Brenson Buckner,
Buckner.
then we had Julius Peppers, prime Julius Peppers,
that's just,
Mike Rucker.
Mike Rucker.
Yeah.
He was Nebraska. Yeah. See, that's when I was a Nebraska fan way back, and Miami Hurricanes. This is when I didn't know football, but I loved the fact that you had two teams that were polar opposite. Nebraska was like on some, now we running there. You're not stopping it.
Oh, no. Good luck.
And then the vintage black shirt defense.
Yeah.
But see, when they lost their way, it broke me because my favorite quarterback, college quarterback of all time, guess,
Ooh, he played for Nebraska?
Tommy Frazier. That's my guy. Tommy Frazier.
That's your favorite
My favorite quarterback.
There's a lot of college football quarterbacks.
Tommy, for me,
Vince Young was
when I watched,
around
I saw.
college football
I was
wise.
aware.
Cam Newton had
I
the
saw-
greatest year ever
I
of
was
any
aware,
quarterback.
and here's why.
Okay, just putting that.
It's not just because, like, look, of course they played Nebraska at that time was traditional, whatever. When they went up against Miami and they lost the first time,
But you're a Miami fan, aren't you?
I know. Like I told you, I was a kid. Like
So,
I was decided. It was like I root for teams from a principle point of view, along with the things they bring to the table.
Okay.
So Nebraska represented to me that basic, put your hand on the ground, punch you in the mouth. That resonated to me, right?
Got you.
And then Miami's just
Flashy.
Miami, right? So that's me too. That kind of keeps suppressed. So watching them play each other was like, I didn't know who to root for.
Okay.
But then when Nebraska lost, because they were not expected to win anyway, right? So,
Correct.
cool. The next year, when they got back at him again, and see, I hate bullies.
Fair enough.
Everybody's had their bully experience. I've had mine. Can't stand them. And it's not even just the bullying; it's the disrespect. Like Tommy Frazier, that's his name. And you know how Warren Sapp can be.
Oh, for sure.
So when Warren Sapp started calling him Tom on the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are his words. I'm not going to read into it, but he was calling him Tom. That's not my name, bro. It's not. So then Tommy Frazier, when they started coming back on him in that game, started letting him know, my name is Tommy. My name is Tommy. My name is Tommy.
Sound like Muhammad Ali.
My name is Tommy, right? And then when we beat them, I was like, wow, this dude who, look, from Florida, undersized, doesn't throw much, efficient, all the things that he would never be that prototypical pro type quarterback, right? But that's a dude, that's a bunker guy as a QB.
Okay.
That was a bunker guy. So when they got over the hump and finally beat Miami, and then the next year, when they blew the brakes off of everybody, and
Right.
to this day, like I had a friend, where I worked at New York Sports Hub at the time. OD Florida Flame. I can't stand the Gators, bro.
Fair enough.
If nothing else the Seminoles and the Canes agree with, wheel bang, Florida, go play in traffic, bro. You know what I'm saying? Go play in traffic.
I used to be in Gainesville a lot.
So he used to talk so much. So when we beat the brakes off of them and dropped 60, and they just kept scoring and scoring, I used to go, yo, P, we just scored again. We just scored again. Like the whole year. Because one thing when we were trash talking, I don't talk.
Me either.
I talk after.
Yeah.
But then I'm relentless and I don't stop
Yeah,
talking.
I feel
so
that.
either two things gonna happen. You're gonna get mad and have to deal with it, or you're gonna try to do some shit and I'm gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, they'll edit it. You know what I'm saying? So I was relentless. When we won that Orange Bowl, I was the entire year, every time we had a conversation, I'm like, P, yeah, they just scored again. Because that's what happened in that game.
Right.
It was a scrimmage. It was a scrimmage, and that's what cemented number 15 for me.
Shocked to hear a Miami guy put anybody over Vinny.
Yep. So
You don't like Vinny?
Vinny,
Didn't Testaverde play for Miami?
I wasn't. Remember when I was a kid watching football like that?
That was the 80s.
It was the 80s. I came on to football late, like you know what I'm saying. 'Cause
okay.
remember, I'm Caribbean parents.
Yeah, you're right.
So I had to watch football and learn this stuff on my own. So it wasn't like I didn't know any better. I was just looking at the teams that was on TV.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I was just looking at teams on TV. But it's that those two teams resonated to me the most. Like even when USC went up against Texas, I was pulling for USC.
It's a beautiful game.
Yo, that game was
Probably the greatest game ever played in college
for
football, for sure.
Like when Vince won that game, like I love seeing excellence. So when you're the standard like USC is, I always want the standard to win. So when Texas came up, first of all, I can't, in the Red River rivalry, and especially when you're from New York, because we don't have that culture here, right?
Not really,
so
not
you're
football-wise.
really piggybacking somebody else's. So in the Red River rivalry, guess what I always pull for? Oklahoma.
Why?
I can't explain it.
Okay.
I really can't. I legitimately can't.
That's
I
interesting considering.
I always pull for Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? When it's Michigan, Ohio State.
You pull for Ohio State?
After Ohio State robbed us in that national championship game.
So it's a no? I thought you had like a thing going with like red teams, Nebraska.
No. I mean,
Oklahoma.
Favorite color, no. But it's like, it's Michigan. I pull for Michigan in that rivalry. But I don't F for Michigan anymore. Like this when I was a kid.
It's the most overrated college football
no
program
doubt.
ever.
Yeah, real talk.
So it's just it's kind of.
Real talk.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I agree. Right.
I don't know why anybody roots for them.
So that's how I moved as a kid, like figuring out college football and stuff. It was just like, it wasn't a college or whatever. It just who moved me for me to root for you. You know what I'm saying?
Fair
and then I got older and I'm like, all right, we got to pick a team. And that was it.
Well, I used to like Penn State, and then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next. Yeah, next.
But that's why I just stick to my HBCUs.
Yeah,
I just stick to
right,
Grambling and Morgan.
To let the public know that we're more rounded, that's not just about football. Your take on this NBA season right now? Or do you watch basketball?
I do. Big FanDuel guy. A lot of parlays.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, like I don't gamble. Yo, when the gambling came about, I was like, this whole thing now in New York City is
it's $5, man. $5 will make you $10,000.
I feel you. But G, we will hopefully do this again.
Appreciate it, man.
Soon.
Anytime.
And again, for all the coaches out there that are behind the scenes, like our strength coaches and at times positional coaches, hopefully this gives you a platform to kind of be able to have your thoughts and share them in the conversation with everyone else. So this is Coach Rick. Coach G. Signing off. The training room. Again, Nuts and Bolts Sports. #Team MBS. You can find us on YouTube and Twitter. Coach Rick is out. Peace.